Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam, the artist behind Samantha Clift Art, and I post videos every week giving you tips and tutorials to help you improve your art. And this week I'm going to be showing you how I drew this peony in colour pencil. So I'm beginning with the centre of the flower, the peony. So it's a little bit like a jigsaw, this one. It's really important that you can kind of work out where you are. So going in with a light colour to begin with, a light hand, it's a pale geranium lake. Just mapping out that first tiny little section of petal, going in with a light hand and then blending with the Caran d'Ache Luminance white to just get rid of some of that graininess. And now going in with the middle purple pink, so going in with a little bit more depth, adding more pigment, adding more colour. That nice pinky colour of the petal. Going in with the magenta. Just following that reference photo, just looking to see where the textures are, where the shadows are, and where the highlights are. My initial sketch, I didn't actually draw the highlights in, so I had to remember to be careful to leave that section blank so that I didn't colour onto the highlight area. I really wanted to leave that white, just the paper showing through, and then just adding a little bit more colour at the end to blend it slightly. So looking at the textures and adding the mid-tones now of the petal, and just looking to see where the darkest parts are. So you can see now that highlight is left. I can map out where the shadows are, where the kind of creases in the petal are. Just taking time and working in small circles and also little lines for the texture. Darkening up that middle section, and now working on the outer section of the petals. You can see this is more lines, adding the texture, going in with the darkest parts first, blending from dark to light so it's not such a harsh transition. Just following the reference photo, and now going in with the rose carmine and filling in the mid-tones. It looks a bit disjointed, so I'm just filling in those mid-tones, bringing the petal together using a very light hand as I can go layer upon layer just to build up the pigment. Now going in with a darker colour, going in with the middle purple pink and the magenta, darkening up the shadows, really making sure that I get that contrast right. And just blending the transition between the shadow and the other parts, the lighter parts of the petal. Those mid-tones into the shadows. A little bit of shadow and texture into the rest of the petal, darkening that up. And now going in with the white Caran d'Ache, blending. So trying to get rid of that grainy look through the petal, and blending those colours together to get a much smoother finish. It will take away some of the colour though, it does lighten it quite a bit, so having to go back in with the magenta and the middle purple pink
Also the Caran d'Ache, purplish red, lots of different pinks, making up the different tones of the petal. Just adding some finer details, sharpening up those shadows and the edges of the petal to make it really stand out and create its form. And just outlining the edge of the next petal to give it definition, so that the highlights really stand out from the shadows. Smoothing that transition from light to dark and adding some more texture with the magenta. Using small lines. And darkening up the darkest parts some more. Paying close attention to my reference photo. So you can see those highlights now from the edge of one petal into the centre of another petal is what creates that 3D look, building up all of the petals of the flower. Like the pieces of a jigsaw, just putting it together one petal at a time, darkening up the shadows. So you can see it's starting to take shape now, using the same technique throughout the whole of the peony. You can see it's starting to look more like the flower that it's supposed to. Using the same technique, building up the layers, blending in between with the white Caran d'Ache, and then going in and adding more colour and pigment as you go. Until you have the finished peony.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, it'd be great if you could like and subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell icon just so that you're notified of my next video. Just keep practicing your art, and I look forward to seeing you next week.